looked at that and you're like, okay, that's an anomaly. What's happening on that water? Maybe the water is not too clean, but it's a whole ecosystem. What are we talking about? Azolla farming. And right now I'm joined by Effie Wambui and Manene Kreme from Big Organics and Naturals. Good to see you guys. Hey, amazing afternoon. So, for starters, you know, when I was making the introduction, we were talking about Azolla. I don't know, which team do you support? Karibi.
Before I went into agroecology, I was an Arsenal fan.
Effie, I don't know, are you a football fan?
No, I'm not. I'm not an enthusiast of football.
Yeah.
I don't even know the players.
You don't even know the players?
Yeah, apart from Kylian Mbappe, I don't know which team he plays with because my son loves Kylian Mbappe.
Kylian, I think is the next now, is the new generation kind of, you know, top guy. As we had Cristiano and Messi, the other people had different people. But it's amazing that you guys do this plant called Azolla. Yeah. Maybe, what is Azolla?
Azolla is a waterweed, a fern from the fern family. And Azolla is a very simple plant, yet very complicated, because it occurs in natural environment where the water has so much of the toxicity or enough food. That's why when you're passing around the Mombasa Road, Cabanas area, you'll find them where there is. So it grows in any water body that has enough inflow of nutrition.
Okay.
Yes.
That's quite incredible. So it's the green that we see mostly on water, Effie.
Yes.
And a lot of people, I mean, in that regard, we look at that and we see it as an anomaly when we see it on water bodies. We just assume, there's some plant growing on you know, or in the water and whatnot. But you guys have managed to, you're doing farming of this particular stuff. Talk to me about the business side, because people see it by the roadside. Now they're like, oh, if he's planting it and selling it, what is the business case for Azolla?
The business case for Azolla comes in where that it's a supplement for protein supplement for livestock feeding. So we come for the people who are looking for a better protein supplement for the instead of in the likes of Ochonga, in the likes of Omena, the Azolla is the best, given that it has 25 to 35% protein content. So business wise, this is a very high selling, given that when the moment you invest in this, you can never go wrong with Azolla, because it grows by itself. You don't have to monitor it so much. So it grows by itself. It's easy to farm it. So business wise, it's the best actually for now. We can even, we actually promote it to many farmers because it grows by itself. Yeah.
Okay. Kirimi, so you guys figured out, first of all, how is Azolla farming in Kenya? Is it something that is, you know, when you talk about, for example, maize farming, we know a lot of maize farmers. As Azolla farmers, how active, what is the uptake of Azolla farming in Kenya as it stands right now?
Just as Effie mentioned, it is an alternative protein source. That is plant-based protein source. And as we know, the issue with any livestock feeding is the protein issue. So the uptake of the Azolla is really high to livestock farmers, but yet it has some big opportunities in the agriculture direction, because it could also, the excesses after you feed the livestock, you can always use it for composting and putting it into the soil.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, so it has multiple users. That's quite incredible. Effie, we talked about Azolla as an alternative. Now people are thinking about eating Azolla too.
Yeah, in the Western countries, they have really appreciated the fact that it has high protein content. They have started even making protein supplements with it. Even for the people who look for the vegetarians that love the protein content, it can be blended into a smoothie. People have taken it into a smoothie. It is also, when washed and dried, it's also made into flour that can be mixed with the baking flour. So you can bake with it cakes, cookies, and also even some pasta. I've seen some pasta being made out of Azolla. Yeah.
Definitely. Mr. Kirimi, is that an ideal diversification in the near future, even as you do this Azolla farming?
It is 100% a very good direction. Mind you, there are very many people dying out of hunger. And we have so many water bodies, like currently the rain season. There is so much water that could be accumulated, and all that surface runoff that is very nutrient rich, Azolla could grow there. And will have enough, as she mentioned, it grows very quick. It multiplies between 24 to 48 hours. That is double itself. And within a week to 3 weeks, you're able to harvest. A week to 3 weeks depends on how well you take care of it. It needs a lot of phosphorus, and it needs little of the nitrogen, because nitrogen fixes itself.
Okay.
Yes.
That's quite incredible. So there is so much potential, even when you're having discussions around food security, that you think about alternatives, and Azolla is one of them.
Yeah.
That's quite incredible. So we want to take a short break. Already here we have a small farm of ours. Yeah, this is a demo farm. But you will teach us how to plant Azolla. If somebody wants to go into it, how to effectively do it.
Yes.
And how they harvest also, and sell it at the end of the day. Remember, it's the Farm Kenya show, and this part we're tackling Azolla farming. Yes, rightly put. A lot of protein content, especially for animal feed. This is the main source. So it has a lot of demand. But how can you be able to go into farming itself? We will be showing you actively and proactively how to do it in an effective manner. But for now, Farm Kenya show takes a short break. Stay tuned.
Kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja kuimarisha Kenya, ni jukumu la Farm Kenya. Kuwa mkono ambao
Recharge on your current bouquet and get upgraded to the next high bouquet for 1 month. Download StarTimes on app for unlimited entertainment. Anytime, anywhere. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
KTN Home Soap Operas is your guilty pleasure destination for all things drama. Brace yourself for shocking revelations.
You're heartless!
I'll see you
You're a
all
monster,
burning
Lucas.
in hell.
And unforgettable moments that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
It was love that caused my downfall.
Don't miss a single episode of your favorite soap where every twist and turn is more captivating than the last.
Show me what she is right now!
Please, calm down.
Where is your mistress?
Come here. Please.
Get your hands off me!
KTN. Welcome home.
Is your school bag ready? It's the Naivas Kikapu Kibonge Super Safari. Ni njia ya kikweli kurudi shuleni. Naivas Kikapu Kibonge Super Safari. Back to school stay. Walisema hatuendi mbali.
Nilikutengenezea kitu.
From different worlds, come a trio with a shared destiny.
Nikulinde na ikuongoze.
Where will the fashion runway take them?
Mimi nitachunga maua yetu vizuri sana hadi wewe narudi.
Family business is everything.
The Beauty and the Beats. Shanga, starting 25 April at 8 p.m. on Maisha Magic Plus. When you subscribe to the Nairobian Extra or TNX Online, everything is TNX rated. Compelling gossip becomes irresistible online. Enchanting travel becomes exotic online. Trend-setting fashion becomes mesmerizing online. Fascinating celebrities become sensational online. Intriguing scandal becomes outrageous online. The Nairobian Extra or TNX Online is much better than X-rated. It's TNX rated. Subscribe to TNX Online, www.tnx.africa, and enjoy TNX rated everything live. TNX, nothing stays hidden.
Recharge on your current bouquet and get upgraded to the next high bouquet for 1 month. Download StarTime's on app for unlimited entertainment. Anytime, anywhere. StarTime. Enjoy digital life.
All right, welcome back to the Farm Kenya show, and we are talking matters Azolla farming. With me today I have Effie Mbuya and Manene Karimi from Big Organics and Naturals. And I mean, before you guys went into Azolla farming, was this your first venture, or you were doing something else prior?
I was doing something else prior. I am a chef by profession. I did hospitality and hotel management.
Okay.
But my passion, I've been brought up in the farm. So my passion was more driven into the farm. So I just had to put that aside and come back to agriculture. And I love it here.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Today we have plenty of chefs here. You know, we already have a setup there.
Yeah,
You can try cooking some Azolla. No. Right now, Mr. Kirimi, we want to demonstrate. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, just come here, because I see already. So we have a demo farm here.
Yes.
What's this?
So this is already established Azolla.
Okay.
As I mentioned, the Azolla needs well nutritious water.
Okay.
As we see it, and when the whole of the water is well colored, it is a very good indicator. But immediately you see the upper part is very clear and the concentration goes down, it means now there is some risk towards the Azolla.
Okay.
Because the whole water needs to be very nutritious and have the particles. So immediately the particles subside, means some of the organic matter is already used up, and you need either to stir or add in some manure.
All right, that's interesting. I know we've started way ahead of the step. Normally, if I want to come into Azolla farming, for starters, Effie, how do I need to prepare my own ponds? Or right now we are having a lot of rains. I'm pretty sure there are pools of water all over. Is this a nice opportunity? That is one. So how do I set up? Then do Azolla, do they have seeds? Where do I source the Azolla from for planting?
Okay. First of all, you need like a small portion of land, because it doesn't take a large portion, but depends on the kind, the intake of your livestock also. So you can start with a small pond, and it shouldn't be that deep. The dimensions are about 2 feet deep, just above just below your knee and just above your ankle there. And then your length depends on how you want it to be long, but that's the depth should be about 2 feet. Then for the seeds, this is the seed and also the produce. So
the Azolla is the seed and the produce?
Yeah. This is what you plant and this is what you harvest.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's just that.
Okay.
That's why I said it's easy to do it, and it doesn't take a lot of energy, because given that this is just the seed, you will plant, this is the seed itself, and it is what you're going to harvest in the end.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you've dug up your space, Kirimi. You've dug up your space. You've ensured it's there. Yeah, 2 feet, and depending on your demand, your land size, you fill it with water. Yeah, and then this is the clear water that I've filled that space in. So in fact, I could just simply assume, yeah, I take the water. This is the land. Yeah. So I come, fill it up. Okay. The water is pretty clear, and I know you by your explanation. You are like, the water has to be mixed up. You know. So here we have a filled up water. What's next?
Great. So there are two ways around it. You could, if you don't have the pond of water already ready,
Yes.
it's always good to first start with your manure.
Okay.
Because Azolla needs, as you said, it needs the water to be very nutritious. So we use manure.
Okay.
Ourselves, we use bokashi because it's an organic fertilizer.
Okay.
You could always use bioslurry. And number 3, well decomposed manure.
Okay.
But preferably not of chicken manure because the chicken manure has a lot of nitrogen, and as we mentioned, Azolla makes its own nitrogen. So it's good to give manure that is not very rich in nitrogen, otherwise the environment becomes quite an issue for it.
Okay.
So as per your question, if you're starting from where there is water, you need to take your manure and make sure you mix very well.
Okay.
So we do it practically.
Yeah, sure.
So for every 1 meter squared, we say you approximately put 5 kgs of manure.
Okay.
So in this instance, we assume this is our 5 kg. So one thing I advise is you make sure you rub so that you see it's now concentrated.
Yes.
And well mixed. There is some secret towards this Azolla. One of the many secrets. As you mentioned, it needs a lot of phosphorus.
Okay.
So this is briquette ash. From some briquettes we make at home.
Okay.
But you could always use even wood ash.
Okay.
This is to enrich the water with phosphorus.
All right.
Now we are even more certain that our Azolla will have a very good landing because the water is already well fed with the manure.
Okay.
Which is well decomposed, and we've added some supplement, that is the wood ash.
Okay.
This is the first entry point and the basics of just any establishment.
Okay.
Then the inoculation of the Azolla, you really don't need to do a lot of it. Anywhere above 25% of the pond, it will colonize. So what happens is, as I could mention, Azolla is a very unique plant. This split will double, but if you're able to see here, it has some small bulbs. They are spores. And when you press these small spores, it has some powder-like. Now these are small Azollas, which are going still to grow. That's why Azolla is very sustainable and a very good regenerative practice. One, when we do this when you inoculate the Azolla into the pond, one, we are certain that we'll get the alternative feed. And as it is growing, we are sure that we are going to get some carbon sequencing, and also the water is going to get some cleaning. And then the best part of it all, it's good that it gives some film on top, so it also reduces the evaporation rate.
Yes. So you've said for 100, let's say that's the 100, just 25% of that portion.
Yeah, 25% will be good, and make sure you rub so that it's in small portions. If you rub, it will take some time before the roots get regenerate back, but you're sure that you've multiplied your seeds. As compared, if you picked the whole of it and gave it time to do its thing and multiply. So by breaking and rubbing.
So it's preferred you dip it up, rub it up, open it up. Wow, that's incredible. Any other process that we've missed there?
Not really. He has mentioned all the technical parts. That's why I said it's easy. That's it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So
but you should also put it where it's not direct to the sunlight, because it tends to turn brown. So not really under a shade, but it should have sufficient sunlight, but not excessive sunlight. Yeah.
So how have you guys done your farm? Is it greens, how do you call them? I'm forgetting.
Or shade net.
You've made sheds now over the ponds?
Not all ponds, but we've suspended a net above a big pond that has some, it's a fish pond. Something maybe to mention, we've brought around the fish issue is the tilapias really consume a lot of the green Azolla. So that's a challenge you're facing, but the catfish would eat the dried Azolla. So if you're doing it in a fish pond, be sure if you're doing tilapia,
It's gonna be
warned.
tricky.
Yes.
Effie, while we were chatting even before the show,
Yeah.
you talked about sustainable agriculture.
Yeah.
Like the way you can do agriculture that is not only beneficial to you,
Yeah.
but the environment in this age of, green everything.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how does that fit into the narrative of what you guys are doing right now?
For example, I'll start with an example of Azolla. Azolla, it covers the whole part of the water. It absorbs. It's a nitrogen fixer one. Again, it helps in absorbing the carbon dioxide. So the carbon emission. It helps to tackle that issue of carbon emission. Also, the coverage. You see, it has already covered the whole water surface.
Yes.
So it helps with vaporization. So not much water is lost.
Okay.
And also even in water, it helps to cleanse. It's some sort of a cleanser in the water. So you don't have the metals. The metals, they say that there is metals in the water. It helps also.
Okay.
So those are some of the things that it's sustainable to the ecosystem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kirumi, you mentioned the fish issue. Catfish, an ideal ecosystem when you're planting, Azolla. Some people would want that space to put it in a better use. Other than just Azolla, is there complementary ways of utilizing? So one of the ways is catfish are the best to have with Azolla on top?
Yes, that will be great because it's because the catfish feed on dried. They prefer dried Azolla. So when it's green, they really don't have much issue to eat it up. So it's a very good direction. The other part about this bit about, you see the dirty water from the fish, it helps remove all that uric acid, that urea from the ponds. So it's an added advantage in the aquaculture.
Aquaculture.
Yes.
So that's incredible. So once, I know you had talked about the timelines of harvesting. Maybe recap, you guys harvesting, this grows pretty quick because if you're only planting a quarter, and it triplicates itself very fast. How long till I do my first harvest after I've done that?
Let me first take what he said. It takes from 48 hours. It starts to multiply. So within 3 weeks, you are able to harvest even more. So after 3 weeks, you can harvest. Even after 2 weeks, you can also harvest. But we give you a maximum grace period of 3 weeks so that you are able to harvest and also leave your pond with more Azolla to circulate and grow again.
So you don't harvest everything?
No.
That's incredible. Now, let's assume that's our Azolla that has grown. Krim, is there a proper way and an improper way of harvesting Azolla?
A very unique and good question. The most proper way about the Azolla depends on first the intake of the livestock or where you're using it. That is, myself, I advise for, if you don't have a lot, you have a lot of the Azolla and the consumption is little, you consume from the bit and make sure you disturb the rest so that it colonizes again. Another proper way to harvest is having a net or a container that gets off the water and you remain with the Azolla. But if the pond is too big, you'd have something to support the harvesting tool. And also the reason to have the extra length is because you see most of the lining of the water is used, we use the dam liners and all these polythenes. So it's good that you are aware so that you don't keep on replacing the liners. So that's the only unique bit about it. Maybe just to mention, during this rainy season, Azolla farmers are really facing some challenges. You left your pond with Azolla, you slept, it rained, you woke up with no Azolla. The water carried the Azolla as part of the surface runoff. So maybe just to mention a mitigation around that is, you just put some grass, hay, or cut grass all around and maybe put some stones. So it acts like a sieve. So once the water overflows, the water leaves, Azolla remains. Yes.
Wow. By the way, rains have been causing massive havoc. We've seen even losses of lives. But people see rains and they're like, oh, farmers are having a good time. Whereas it's washing away Azolla. The business end of it. Now, you said you pick first of all, just to piggyback on what you said, pick a portion of it while you're harvesting, if depending on the consumption.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, is it possible to harvest part of it?
Yeah, cool.
Just slightly, so that we have some here.
We assume we are using it for cooking.
Yes.
So we harvest and we make sure. So the first bit is we have the harvested Azolla, and we make sure we have the rest of the Azolla well settled so that it recolonizes. Then this bit of Azolla we take with our sieving tool, and we run through some water. Why? Because most of the livestock do not prefer the roots that already have the manure. They would feel the smell of the manure, so you have to rinse well. And after you rinse and you have no more manure, you press or you put over a net, so that excess water is lost. And the best way to feed the Azolla to livestock is while it's green, because of its minerals and vitamins. But if you have a lot, you always dry, so that you have dried Azolla. Depends on how good you've kept it. It's dried protein. Plant-based protein content is between 25 to 35%.
Okay.
Yes.
That's incredible. And Effie, the price of Azolla now in the market?
The price ranges from around 800 to 1,000 shillings per kg. But for 1,000 is for retail for people who are taking in small portions. But 800 is for people who are taking for more than 10 kgs and above, or even 15 and above kgs. So that's the range between 800 shillings and 1,000 Kenyan shillings per kg.
And how competitive is that in comparison to all the protein options that we have? How competitive is that pricing compared to the omenas and whatnot?
It's very competitive, given that this one you'll get it from your own farm. You don't have to travel and cost your fuel to go to the agrovet and buy protein and the ochonga and everything. This one is readily available. Also, it's cheaper as compared to the other protein products, because those ones are already mixed with other starches. But this one, it's in its own way a whole meal. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. So it's competitive.
Yeah, it is.
The demand now, Kirimi, as more farmers, because since you guys are talking about sustainable farming, I can imagine if you're doing a farm, you have your Azolla, you have your animals there. It is sort of cyclic. Create sort of a cyclic economy. How much of hunger are we seeing from Kenyan farmers? Because I know many of your customers are farmers. How much of hunger are we seeing to take up Azolla production? Is it tedious? Is it a niche that maybe you guys have capitalized on it, you're good at it, so farmers just come and take off product from you?
Thank you. The cyclic bit you're talking about, we mentioned it in the agroecology spaces, the closing the loop. So it's a closed loop system. About the demand is quite huge, more so for the Azolla inoculant, the seeds, just for planting, because the sustainability to sustain someone's farm, you really need large tracts of planting this Azolla. So most of the current demand is for a farmer to have their own seed.
Yes.
They plant it, and then they continue multiplying according to their livestock needs. But as we mentioned, and as you've heard, there's a very big opportunity, because commercializing, there's a very big gap in between. The market is still there. Myself, I have a farmer from Githongori who has requested me if I'm able to do 1 sack of the Azolla dried every week. I supply. But you see now, with the several ponds I had made, the tilapia did me.
Oh, they did you one. They did you a good one. Tilapia. So you guys are also keeping tilapia?
Yeah.
For market?
Yeah, for market and also for education purposes.
Okay.
Yeah, because we welcome farmers to come and learn with us, because every day we learn something new. So as we learn, we also share the knowledge with other farmers. So it's there for the purpose of selling and also for the purpose of education.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. The next generation. You guys are taking care of the next generation.
We are.
You know, most of the times we are told the average age of a farmer in this country is 65 years old. And it gives an impression that farming is old. But there is actually are yearning, and even with CBCs.
Yeah.
Do you think the way we are changing the curriculum is changing the way we are perceiving farming as a people?
Thank you. A very good question. Myself, I represent youths in agroecology. That question is a very open area. There's not that there aren't youths already in the agroecological space. The issue is how sustainable the agricultural practices to retain the youths there. Do you have the right policies and environments that the youths can stick there? Do you have good market linkages? Do you have good infrastructure? Do you have technical assistance? Do you have some mentorship? So that is what calls in the retainers. The idea is very many youths out there, every other person is scratching their head, how can I make money? So you see, in the youth, idea is how we make money. So if they're able to be directed well and shown there's a very big gap, we'd have more. But currently, we have a very good number of youths who are there. In fact, the good thing about it, as you mentioned to the CBC side, we have youths like myself. I have my son who already understands about Azolla. I think he will even help you set up even without being there. He knows how to mix, he knows how to break. So you see, even the transition and able to push the knowledge to the next generation is what maybe was lacking, or even the interest to create the interest so that the transition is very encouraged.
That's incredible. Effie, as we close up, now we are looking at the future. Sustainable agriculture, but specifically Azolla as you know, an alternative protein for farmers, you know, for animal feed, of which we import a lot. Actually, where do you see this market going? Are there trends that you're seeing? For example, you've talked about people now are eating, you know, making this into smoothies and whatnot. Where is Azolla farming going into the future?
I'd say the future for Azolla is very bright, because for one, this is something you can plant for yourself and say you are going to do it organically. You know, the other things you're not even sure if it's organic or not organic, for the people who love it organic like ourselves. But this one, you can do it on your own and decide this is going to be 100% organic. You know how you've planted it, you know how you're going to harvest it, it's safe in your hands. And also, if many youths appreciate the fact that this is a very great venture of business, this is the key to it.
This is the key to it.
Yeah.
You're fighting short, Mr. Kirimi?
The issue with the alternative, feeds is protein. And proteins are divided into two. The animal-based proteins and the plant-based proteins. The animal-based proteins, the good solution is the black soldier fly. While for the plant-based protein, the banger is here, the Azolla.
The banger is here.
Yes.
So you can call it another banger.
It is.
That's beautiful. But thank you guys. I think
welcome.
I've learned a lot. It's very simple. It's something that you can do by yourself if you have a space and you say there is demand for it. Farmers are always looking to get Azolla, you know. You have demand, it seems the market is hungry, so I think it's one of those spaces that young people can go into, and it could be a huge blessing in regards to youth in agriculture, but essentially just tapping into an untapped avenue of Azolla farming. All right? So I really appreciate you guys for coming through.
Thank you so much
this
for
is really
having us.
nice, Maze. You guys are also a couple. You guys are a couple.
She's the co-founder.
She's the co-founder. That's what you say, yeah? You know, family dynamics. I'm glad families are doing this together, which is also a good thing and a beautiful thing. Very encouraging. Families are foundations of our nations. Yeah, but I appreciate Efi. Thank you very much. And Manene Karimi from Big Organics and Naturals. They're saying that Azolla is the banger. Okay? There is no another banger. Azolla is the banger in regards to plant-based proteins, and it's something very simple, is to get this input as they have shown us. I think you can always search them out across social media platforms, their website, to get these specifics, which is very important, so that when you're starting off into Azolla farming, you're starting right. Because that's the most important bit of it, doing it correct. But that's been our discussion on matters Azolla farming right here on the Farm Kenya Show Want to take a short break. When we come back, trust you me, we are making tacos. I'm tempted to take some of this Azolla, we add it into the taco and we call it Azolla tacos. But as it stands right now, I won't be allowed to do that. So we take a short break. We come back with something else on matters tacos and omelets. Stay tuned.